Hey writers, welcome back. Today we're digging into one of the most important parts of your book, the opening chapter. This is where you grab your readers by the collar and say, "You're coming with me." I'm going to go over all the important things that you need to put into that first chapter. I've written several books, mostly vampires and aliens and UFOs, so this is my first crack at writing a murder mystery. So I'm having to think through a lot of things too. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through the first chapter I wrote in Deadbeat over there that I'm getting going. I want to go over many of the most important elements you must put at the beginning of any story if you want to hook your reader and make sure they stick with you all the way to the end. All right, I've got my writing program open, which is Scrivener, and this is the opening chapter. So let's go through what's going on here and look at all the important parts. It starts off this opening paragraph right here. The Pacific Ocean was getting a wake-up call. The morning sun was casting a golden glow over a damp Santa Monica as another day began. The seagulls were squawking their heads off. A light morning rain had stirred up that wonderful smell of the ocean drifting in the air. I sat in my 1965 Buick Century convertible, feeling the engine sputter as it struggled to idle at the light on Ocean Boulevard. Across the street, a group of young surfers in wetsuits crossed with boards under their arms, heading towards the beach. So here's what we're doing right away. We are anchoring the reader. They know where they are, Santa Monica. They know what time of day it is, morning, and they feel the atmosphere, light rain, seagulls, the scent of the ocean. That's not just setting, it's a mood. If you're writing a murder mystery, your setting should reflect your tone. This one's nostalgic, grounded, and a little worn down. You can feel the years behind it. That's intentional. Let's have another look at this line. I sat in my 1965 Buick Century convertible, feeling the engine sputter as it struggled to idle at the light on Ocean Boulevard. See what's going on here? We are in first person, which is perfect for a mystery. Readers are inside the detective's mind, but they only see what he sees. That lets us withhold information naturally. The car, the smell of the ocean, the memory of surfing. It all tells us who this guy is without info dumping. He's not just a cop, he's a former kid with a longboard. Someone with a past and a lost version of himself he still carries. This kind of emotional layering builds trust with your reader. They'll follow your detective through anything if they care about him. Okay, let's move down to the second paragraph here. For a moment I was, here we go. For a moment I was that kid again, young, lean, hungry for my next wave. My cherry red longboard had been my pride, its wax deck worn smooth from endless morning riding swells. So you can get a real taste. He's looking back in his memories while he's sitting there in his car, just dreaming of the world that's missing. This next line reinforces the world he remembers himself in. Back then, I'd paddle out before sunrise, letting the numbing water jolt me awake as I waited for the perfect set. The ocean had a rhythm, a heartbeat that matched my own in those days. See, here's something a lot of writers forget. The first chapter isn't about the murder. It's about what the murder is going to disrupt. This memory tells us what the protagonist has lost and the quiet ache underneath his day-to-day. That's going to matter when this case hits, because now we know what this man feels, not just what he does. Okay, this next paragraph here just kind of reinforces the memory thing we're doing. He's talking about Denny, his buddy. He was always there too, floating beside me with that mop of blonde hair plastered to his head, grinning like we owned the whole damn Pacific. We'd scream like lunatics as we carved through the thundering surf like conquering warriors. That version of me, the one who thought time was endless, felt like a stranger now. So we're really reinforcing that memory and get a good feeling of, what this guy was all about. And now it's time to change it, okay? A blaring horn snapped me back to reality, and the green light said, "Get my butt going." I sighed, pressed the gas, and let the Buick lurch forward. You see, humor and realism. This line snaps us out of the nostalgia and into the now. Notice how it balances tone. This guy's been through life. He's tired, but he's sharp. When you shift tone like this, it keeps the prose alive. Don't let your opening get stuck in just one emotional gear. Now we got a quick paragraph here giving us a little bit more insight to how this guy's life is going. Almost 30 years on the Santa Monica police force, and there I was, still dragging myself in every morning. Part of me wondered why. Wednesday nights at the Rusty Nail, playing shuffleboard and bickering with my neighbor about trash cans. Those were about the only things keeping me going these days. That and my country radio station, which crackled to life as I turned towards the station, bracing myself to dodge another lecture from our new captain. Okay, now we introduce tension without the murder yet. Captain Sinclair is our first source of conflict. This is the key. You need something pushing against your detective, even if it's not the killer yet. So we got this paragraph here. Captain Sinclair. Okay, let's go see about the captain. Captain Sinclair had been brought in a few months ago, a decision that still didn't sit right with me. He wasn't a Santa Monica guy. He'd come out of some fancy administration position in San Diego, supposedly to modernize our department. Sinclair had shown up with all the bells and whistles, new protocols, shiny computer systems, sleek digital dashboards, body cam drones. I wasn't sure what annoyed me more, his tech obsession or his perfectly pressed suit. Okay, we know what he's beginning to think of his captain. But this isn't just character backstory, it's pressure. Sinclair represents change, distrust, displacement, all themes that are going to echo once the case begins. And it gives our protagonist a motive not to trust the system. That matters. Okay, we've got another paragraph here about what he thinks of Sinclair, which is kind of important because your characters always need to be feeding each other a little tension. So this is what he thinks of his new captain he's been working for. Maybe that kind of thing impressed the brass downtown, but to me, it felt like a damn dog and pony show. I'd been under his command long enough to know that he didn't trust old-timers like me. The feeling was mutual. We'd butted heads from day one, especially when he would send me out on some cold case, his polite way of shoving me out the door before my retirement kicked in. He claimed it was because of my experience. We both knew better. Well, now we're beginning to start up with a little action so we can anticipate how his day is going to go with his captain. I kind of like this next paragraph here. It says, still, I kept showing up, out of habit maybe, or because part of me didn't want to be anywhere else. The city had changed so much over the years, but in my heart, it was still mine. I belonged to these streets and beaches, even if they'd forgotten me. So we got his attitude pretty clear, and we understand this guy pretty well. Now let's get him to the station here. I pulled into my usual parking spot, stepped out, watched a beer can tumble onto the wet pavement. I felt my knees crack as I bent down to pick it up and noticed something odd under my foot. Then I felt a hole in my shoe slowly soaking up last night's rain. Oh shit, I forgot my socks again. Why include a beat about wet socks and a beer can? Because this is how you make your detective human. These little humiliations build empathy. He's not a superhero. He's tired. He's forgotten his socks. He's fallen apart a little. And guess what? That tells us he needs this case, not for justice, not for closure, but for purpose. Now we just finish up with the final line of the paragraph here, of the chapter. Two younger officers walked by laughing to themselves, and I gave them a tired nod, hoping my baggy pants would hide my naked angles. Small mercies. So we get a little quick glimpse of what the younger cops around the station think of our guy. Okay, let's summarize here what makes this chapter a strong mystery opener. First of all, it establishes the setting and the mood. We know where, when, and where this guy is. It introduces a layered protagonist. We can see him now, we can see him in the past. We've got hints at past relationships with Denny, his old surfing buddy, and how they used to just run through those waves. It introduces a little tension. We've got Captain Sinclair, so we've already got an idea what kind of guy he's going to be and what kind of conflict he's going to bring into this, because he's going to make it for a rough day for our hero here. And it builds empathy through daily struggle. And you got a great little hook here without rushing into the murder. We can anticipate one because we know it's a police story. He's heading for the police station. He's been there for 30 years. So we know one's coming up because the name of the book is Deadbeat. So we got a pretty good idea what's going to happen. The reader doesn't know what the case will be yet, but they're ready to find out because they care about the man now who will be solving it. And that's the important thing. Set your guy up real well and they'll stick with him for 300 pages. Okay, just one more little screen here. Basically, kind of 5 basic things you always really need when you open up any story, really. You need to know who your main character is. Where are you? That's important. What town you're in, what city, what part of the country, what part of the world, and when is it? Is it morning? Is it evening? Is it 200 years from now? Is it in the future? And then you have to develop your character, of course, which is an awfully important part of things. We define him through his history right now. His attitude about his life, his boss, he's hanging out at the bars, playing shuffleboard, arguing with his neighbors. And this poor guy, his shoes are all worn out. That gives you a nice look into this character. You can almost imagine what his apartment looks like. Then you've got a story to introduce. We've got a cop. We got the title of the book is Deadbeat, so we do expect a crime, okay? Well, that's about it for today, so thanks so much for sticking with me. If you'd like to get a copy of the chapter we went over today, there's the PDF you can have. Check it out for yourself. It might be of some benefit to you. There's a link down below. You can grab that PDF. And just one more thing, you might have noticed that I've written quite a few books, and I used a book cover, an artist company called getcovers.com. All of these covers you see on these books were made by them. I think I've made 15 or 16 different book covers with other books that I haven't even published. And this current book, looking over here, Deadbeat, they just made that for me, and it was $10. I make the images myself, either using Midjourney or any image program. Then I send them the image, and then they put the lettering on and make it. Get Covers is a artist company in Ukraine, so there's a big difference in the amount of money. So covers really only start at $10, $20. That's about all you really need, maybe 30 if you really go crazy. So there's a link below to getcovers.com. I went and became an affiliate for them because they're so good. So many writers know about it. It can save you a lot of money, and you get a really good cover. You even get 10% off if you use my link, but 10% of $10 is not such a big deal. But anyway, if you're looking and you're ready to get a book cover for something you're working on, go check out getcovers.com. So again, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. So thanks for checking it out. And if you enjoy this kind of thing, learning how to write and so forth, just please subscribe. It'd be a big help to me. Give it a thumbs up if you picked up a little something that you like. All right, see you in the next video.